Hey guys, D-Chuck here, and this is going to be a really long commentary, and if you'll notice, this is actually from when I was playing all night with SND for Dummies and only use me Blade, and I want to say thank you to Wicked Shrapnel for commenting on my latest video, the Liberation one, and even though it was a little comment, it actually helped out my channel quite a bit. A few subs, quite a lot of video views on that video, and on my previous video, just so other people could check out what my commentating style was like. And so today's commentary is actually going to be pretty long, about 11 minutes. I don't know how it got to about 11 minutes, but it's going to be 11 minutes, just in case you're wondering, and you can't read the bottom timer. And we're going to start with Rez Life Part 2. So let's just do a little recap of Rez Life Part 1. I just moved from Birch Island, which is my actual reservation I'm registered to, and moved to my mom's reservation where her mom and dad, obviously her mom and dad are from. And I just met my friend, and we both love playing games, and that's Rez Life Part 1 basically. Well, not really basically, but so let's start off with like a general conception of what Rez Life is. Basically, Christian Island is an island. It's an actual island, not like Birch Island. Christian Island is a motherfucking island. It's in one of the freshwater lakes of Ontario. There's many of them, and of course we're known for having the biggest freshwater lakes in the world. And to get there, you have to take a 30-minute boat ride. It would probably only take like 10 minutes on a normal boat, but the boat you have to take is a fucking ferry. It takes forever to get across. It's probably a mile from the dock to the other dock, mile and a half, 2 miles around there. And that's part of the shitty thing. I don't even know how they got supplies between like November or like December and January, in that period where it's basically just getting frozen and you can't use the boat to get across because it would just get frozen, and you couldn't go across because it was too thin. So I don't know, I don't even know, maybe they just stocked up like bears and whatever they did. But let's move on with the commentary. I just met my friend, which I said earlier, and I'm just dragging this on. And I started off in grade 5, and obviously I have a ton of cousins. I think my mom only had like a brother and a sister, and that doesn't sound like I'd have a lot of cousins, does it? Well, my papa had about 11, or anyway 10, around 10 brothers or sisters, and they all had kids, and yeah, it just spread out from there, and their kids had kids, because I think my mom is actually almost as old as her auntie, and that's just crazy. And my nana, she also had not kids, well, she did have kids, but she had a large family too. I think 12 plus brothers and sisters, plus the ones that are older that already had kids. I had a huge family on the island. And basically when I was in grade 6, I moved, and everybody was my cousin. I met one of my friends, and he wasn't very smart. He was pretty good at sports, and I wasn't in like a general, there wasn't any like cliques or anything. People just hung out with each other, recess, played soccer for days and whatever. And back then everybody was Yu-Gi-Oh fucking crazy. If you don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh is, it's this trading card game, and it's a really long well, it's not really long, what am I saying? It's basically a nerdy type trading card game, and everybody was playing that till I was in about grade 7 or 8, around there. And so everybody was doing their thing, and then eventually during the school years of like grade 6, well, our teacher actually quit because us res kids were pretty fucking bad. I'm pretty sure he raged and quit. We never saw him again. I can't remember his name. Oh yeah, it was Mr. Moberly. And I don't know if he was brown, but he was pretty dark, and he fucking rage quit from our school because we're fucking bad kids. And our next teacher was actually this white old teacher, and he raged at us too. I think Mr. Moberly quit halfway through the year and he had to teach us for the rest of the year, and we didn't like him at all. And eventually he didn't rage quit. He quit at the end of the semester, well, year, when I guess you're supposed to not give up on the res kids. And that's the one thing that really bothered me though, was that even though he was raging hard, he didn't want to quit. I think at one time he threw like a book, like a fucking textbook, at one of my classmates, and that's just crazy shit. And that's one of the things that happened through the year. That guy was crazy. And so let's move on to about grade 8, because I don't really remember grade 7 all that much. And in grade 8, it's a pretty fun year. I had pretty decent marks. I actually got really high mark in art, because although my art was a piece of shit, I actually tried and worked hard on it. And it actually did look like a piece of shit compared to some of the other people's, but that's because they didn't put in effort and they didn't hand it in or whatever. And it just looked really nice. And what I want to say is, in grade 8, res kids are fucking bad. Our teacher was so mad at us almost all the time, and pretty sure a bunch of my classmates smoked a ton of weed almost every week. Yeah, that's how bad us res kids can be. Although I know some white kids that are almost as bad. They'd smoke weed like that. But grade 8, I think it actually started in like grade 6 when they started. And drinking was somewhat of a problem. Bootlegging. I know some people on the island bootleg, and I actually don't live there anymore. But it's I moved when I was older, I guess you could say, legal age. And grade 8 on the island was a fun year. Just a bunch of activities, like getting stuff ready for graduation. And I think one of the shittiest parts about grade 8 was when my best friend, who I met in grade 5, 6, if you didn't know, if you weren't paying attention at the start of this commentary, his brother got mad at me for saying a "yo mama" joke, and he fucking punched me right in the eye. I don't know how he punched. He punched pretty hard, but it didn't really hurt, but it actually fucking cut open my eyebrow. I don't know how he punched that hard to cut open my fucking eyebrow with his fist. With one punch, actually. I'm like, what the fuck? You punched me over a "yo mama" joke? You serious, bro? You serious, bro? And that's how me and my friend didn't really hang out too much after that. We're still friends. We still text and play games online mostly now, until he buys Modern Warfare 3. And the greatest part about grade 8 was the motherfucking trips that you got to go on. And the greatest thing about it was going to fucking Disney World. Actually, Disney World was kind of shitty because Disney World is more kid-based. If you didn't already know, it would be pretty fucking amazing if you're about 10 years old and you went to Disney World. Disney World is godly if you're about 10. I think some of the rides are pretty cool, but mainly if you're 10 and up, well, if you're like a teenager, you wouldn't want to be at Disney World. You'd probably want to go somewhere else. Although the beaches there are pretty nice. I know we traveled to a couple beaches, and that was our teacher for grade 7 and 8 was Sook, and he was Chinese, and he could speak English, but he still had a fucking accent. He'd be like, "Why are you guys always late for school? School?" And we'd always make fun of him and whatever, but he was generally a nice guy. And Actually, I missed one of the biggest parts about grade 7. What am I saying? Grade 7 was boring. In grade 7, a bunch of us natives, we all went to the National Aboriginal Indigenous Games. I kind of missed this entirely. How did I miss this entirely? And the National Aboriginal Indigenous Games are held almost every other year, 2 years or 3 years. I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be one this last year, but it was cancelled or something, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with that anymore. And I actually went for canoeing, even though I didn't know how to fucking canoe at all. I actually flipped during one of my events, which was hilarious, because I was paddling my fucking ass off. I was like switching side to side, trying to, because it was a single man thing. Although some of my teammates did get like gold and bronze and stuff, it was still a fun event. I actually forgot to mention it was in Denver too, and that was the fun part about grade 7 mainly. That's all I really remember about grade 7 was that trip and the graduation in grade 8. Oh, what a fun time. Just a bunch of great fucking food, fun times to be had. I was actually valedictorian and highest honors or whatever. And so high school Rez Life coming soon, part 3. And of course this gameplay with only use me teeth, me gwetch, Bama P.